Star Wars has officially reached ludicrous levels of loco. Lucasfilm now going full-blown bozo, spending more money on a show that nobody is watching than they have ever spent before on any movie they've put out the door. Crazy Kathy at it again, and she's went to triple time. We'll tell you why it might be time for Bob Iger to say goodbye to Kathleen Kennedy. Hello, folks, and welcome to a channel that is not far, far away, but rather at your fingertips every single day, ready to go and bring you the good news that entertainment is healing, at least most of it. Lucasfilm, not in that category, not by a long shot. Good Lord! You cannot miss this video, we promise. You have to listen through because the amount of money that Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, and Star Wars have wasted is beyond comprehension. We'll explain. You click the like button, and here we go. All right, folks, here we go to Forbes. It is by our favorite Caroline Reed, and it says Disney reveals $645 million spending on Star Wars show Andor. Caroline, of course, Caroline Reed, whatever she puts out, it is a must-read for you. Here's what it says. Disney has revealed that the cost of making Star Wars streaming show Andor has surged to Folks, I need a break. Hang on. This is unbelievable. Andor has surged to $645 million. This seems like something that somebody had a typo, but it's real. $645 million after it spent a record. See, this is not all. Hang in there. After it spent a record $290 million last year on this thing. Jonas, is this cumulative, the 645, or is this?
Yes, it is. It is cumulative, which is funny because when I saw those 200, that it was like a $250 million figure that was in my records from everything that, because Caroline Reed, and I give all credit to Caroline and to Valiant here, and we are all pointed at the same information here. I had assumed that the figure that I was seeing was for both seasons of the show. So this is an amazing realization that the second season cost more than any movie should cost.
Okay. Let's one more paragraph, then I want to come back to that. It is the highest ever, and remember, folks, we're talking about a show that nobody is watching. It is the highest ever annual spend on a Star Wars production disclosed in Disney's public filings. That means we're not talking about just shows. We're talking about anything ever for Star Wars. Andor. Folks, Andor. It doesn't chart. Andor, that nobody is watching. Andor, which had lower ratings than The Acolyte. Andor cost more than anything Star Wars from ever before. The staggering sum eclipses the $280.7 million spent on The Last Jedi. Likewise, it is higher than the $243 million cost for The Force Awakens. And we believe, by the way, that all in all, The Rise of Palpatine cost about $600 million. Andor cost more. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it is no wonder to me that they're going to stop Star Wars. It's no wonder to me if they finally get rid of Kathy, because this is lunacy money. This is crazy land.
I also need to point out that that was only through November of 2023.
Right.
So if they did any reshoots, anything after November of 2023, more than a year ago, then that is not even the complete figure.
Are you saying this is for the second season only, the $645 million figure?
There was a dip in 2022. They only spent 70 million pounds in 2022.
Only.
And in 2023, they spent 230, which I would love to have a dividing line from Lucasfilm on this so that we can understand when they started spending money wherever. This is more than they spent on The Rise of Skywalker. This is more than they spent on Force Awakens. This is almost as much money as they spent on Rogue One and The Last Jedi combined. It is an unbelievable amount of money to be getting near the $750 million mark for a show that most people say, even Star Wars fans are like, yeah, I haven't gotten around to that one yet.
Let me put
it's good.
Let me put this, Jonas, into a holiday analogy that I think people can understand, because this number is so big that it's just, you can't wrap your mind around it. And I don't really know how they can, this is beyond how I can figure out where the money's going. I do not understand how you can spend this much. So that people understand, it's the holidays, and some people for the holidays like to have lobster. Okay? If you are a very, very wealthy person, then you might enjoy blue lobster, not red lobster. That's the opposite. Because a blue lobster is ultra rare. 1 in 2 million lobsters are blue. And because of that reason, when they catch a blue lobster, if it is of the large variety that they can use at a restaurant, you can count on a blue lobster at a restaurant costing you about $560. Folks, I'm going to tell you that Andor would be the equivalent, the cost of Andor is the equivalent of the ultra rare blue lobsters that the uber rich eat at restaurants so that they can feel better about themselves. This is the equivalent of firing 1.2 million blue lobsters into the sun. I know it's a silly analogy, but I just need everybody to understand. I don't know how they spent this much money. They could have filled many Olympic-sized swimming pools with caviar, like real caviar. I don't know how you spend this much money. CGI doesn't cost this much. Practical effects don't cost this much. I don't know what they're spending it on. Panel, help me. How do you spend $600 million on an 8-episode season that no one's watching?
Catered by the Cake Bake Shop.
This is more money than Rise of the Resistance at Walt Disney World, and that attraction sees 20,000 people per day every single day. You're talking $645 million for a show that nobody's actually going to see or watch. I mean, honestly, it's amazing that it even got a second season. Remember, this was supposed to be like 4 seasons, and they had to cut it down severely. We just heard from Alan Berkman, I believe it was Vulture, if I'm not mistaken, or Variety, one of those outlets, saying that, you know what? Acolyte, it's just, we didn't do as much money as it needed to do in order to justify a second season. What is this?
Well,
this eclipses Acolyte by threefold, I believe.
Vash, if you add Andor and Acolyte together, does everybody know the B word that you get? Not that. No, folks, it's Christmas. Other B word, billion, Vash. Billion.
That's a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. That's what that is. This is why are we spending this much money on entertainment content that nobody's going to see? At least in the theme parks, at least you have some chance of making your revenue back. At least some, you can increase the parks and sell hotel rooms, all kinds of stuff. What do you do with this? This is outrageous. This is
it's those Andor toys. Everybody's getting those Andor toys.
They must all be getting Blue Lobster while at the craft services, because this is the only way to explain this.
1.2 million Blue Lobsters at catering. Listen,
yes.
when they announced these things were costing $200 million, we said that's ludicrous. That's crazy. You can't spend that much. They tripled it. It's like somebody came in on a beater of a lemon car, and you can't believe that it's even driving. And then they tell you they spent $50,000. You say, you hold your head in your hands and say, no, please tell me you didn't spend $50,000 on a 1971 Gremlin. Please tell me you didn't spend. And then they go, you're right. I spent $150,000 on the Gremlin.
Totally redeem yourself now. Well, at least, okay, if you're going to spend this much money, at least the tax credit that they're getting for that, it's going to be substantial, right? It's going to be probably enormous. 200 million, 300 million. Jonas, do we have the figure on how much money they're set to receive back on this?
No, not yet. I generally don't follow that one because I really like to focus on the insanity of this issue. Here,
I think it was only going to be 129. If I'm not mistaken.
It's not as much as it should be, honestly.
Right.
It's as I always go back. The sanity of the plan is no issue because this is the kind of thing that they will do over and over and over again. Just a quick sum. Just on the UK productions, they're already past $3.5 billion in what they've spent on productions that are registered in the UK. So for what they have done with Star Wars, is that more than the box office? Just the box office, not even what we would consider them taking home on,
I think this,
on Star Wars films?
Well, this year's box office for the entire Walt Disney Company is about 2.4 billion. Isn't that right?
Guys, I'm sorry, I'm passed out on the floor right now.
I'm honestly struggling to comprehend the amount of money that they are spending, and Kathleen Kennedy still has a job. This is the thing that I don't like to be mean to people on the internet that I don't know. This is just kind of against my rules. I don't like to be cruel, but this woman has spent so much money and squandered the greatest film franchise that has ever existed. 1977, Star Wars. You have people who have made their entire film careers trying to reach for what that film represented. And now you have a woman who cannot, for the life of her, hire someone who can put something on screen that makes people go, yeah, that was good. Or $750 million on a show that we hear is good. I still haven't watched it. One of these days I'll get around to it, but no one is interested because of everything that they have done with this franchise. I do not understand how Kathleen Kennedy has a job outside of the answer of it would make Frank Marshall mad. It would miff Steven Spielberg. George Lucas may not like them very much, and DEI.
Yeah, I don't think any of those people are any concern to Disney. I think it comes down to the three letters that you threw out there. And I'm going to say three letters that I think are far more important. ROI. And you should expect on any film or television project an ROI of between 20 and 125%.
Of course.
So can I ask a simple question, Jonas?
Sure.
What's the ROI on this particular Andor?
It might be negative. I mean, there is no return on this investment. They are spending billions of dollars on Disney Plus and Hulu, and they have made a profit of in one quarter of about $47 million at this point. It is going to be a decade before they see any profit from what they have done with streaming. And it's not all Kathleen Kennedy's fault. But yes. Wow, if Lucasfilm didn't exist, this company would be in a better spot.
Well, I remember Bob Iger saying the buck stops here when it comes to quality. Remember that back in like 2019 when he said that? That was some fun times. How are you going to spend $645 million on a show starring Diego Luna and expect to get any ROI at all? Culture. I think you make a good point here. You would have to sell ads to the end of eternity to get all this money back. Ron, go ahead.
I'm assuming Stellan Skarsgård asked for a huge raise, and maybe he's getting $100 million for this. I don't know. Is he worth that? Because, we all love Stellan Skarsgård.
I want to toss this to Erica. Erica, the only way I know to handle this is this Andor story, and our analogy of the Blue Lobster means I'm starting an entirely new emoji. So members of the channel, you may have to refresh to get the access to use it, but while we've been talking, we've added a Blue Lobster to the emoji list for members. And whenever we talk about something, Erica, that is insanely expensive and stupid now on this show, we're going to rain blue lobsters down as a way to mock them. 1.2 million blue lobsters is what this thing cost.
Lobster Hut.
Yeah. Wait a minute, Erica, you don't like lobster?
I don't like seafood at all. And
Whoa!
the cost of it, just to fish something out of the sea. Yeah. No.
What?
Yeah,
Can't
they're
do
kind of sea cockroaches, when you think
Hey,
about
there's
it.
nothing
I'm
wrong
not
with
the
sea
only
bugs.
one who thinks that. You just said it out loud.
Oh,
I've always thought that they look like cockroaches.
They
and the
are filter eaters. I mean, everybody calm down. Okay,
But-
but certain whales are filter eaters as well.
but Erica, then it's even more
those whales are
apropos.
cute on some level.
It's even more
These are
apropos
like
for what
that.
we're describing if they're ocean cockroaches, as you're suggesting.
Have
It's
you
even
seen
more
how big those things get? They get
I have. They get
massive.
indoor
Bigger
size.
than my computer monitor. They get huge. Oh
Almost
my
as big as
gosh.
the budget of Andor. And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for now, but don't worry. Do not fret. Not yet, for more content is still coming your way 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. What a joy it has been to share our time with you. We hope you feel the same. Adding value to your every single day is our job here, and we take it very seriously. Folks, the only thing we ask in return is that you consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it. Stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. And drop a comment right on down below. And folks, if you'd like to subscribe to our partner YouTube channels, That Part Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and some of those radio stations like Vacation Radio, well, we certainly would appreciate it. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time and being invited into your day, folks, we go on our way saying this: keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.